2-for-1 Jack, splat, just like that. Bringing you tons of information, that's where he's at. He goes around town covering topics you'd like to know. Well, that's what you get when you do the 2-for-1 Tune In Jack Show.
City Council accept.
Amen. Denver accept.
For the moral foundations of democracy to thrive, leaders must make it absolutely clear that anyone suffering sexual misbehavior can speak up and will receive support. Denver Career Service Authority clearly defines what sexual harassment is. It's not pole dancing science. But what Mayor Hancock has said is, I didn't sexually harass her. Question, so what did he apologize for? For inappropriate texts, for blurring the lines, for being clueless. He's apologized for nada. And he didn't just send one sexual tweet. Question, why has no one mentioned that repeated attempts are called stalking? Everywhere in Hollywood, at the Denver Urban League, over there in the Capitol, people are being sacked for acting like pigs. Question, should Hancock be investigated? My last question. Did Hancock ever consider taking pole dancing classes? Why not? He sure as shit is trying to dance his way out of this one.
Accountability for everybody. Everybody can be held accountable.
City Council ain't no better. They got his back and they lied to us.
Get rid of them too.
Get rid of all of them.
Right, where you at? You too, buddy.
I'm Bridget Walsh, and I'm a citizen and a subject of King Hancock. And I am a bit older, and so in my day we experienced sexual harassment and sexual assault, and we just kind of didn't even know that it was wrong. It was just the old boys, and it was boys will be boys. And I could recount instances, personal situations, where I was harassed and assaulted, and I just didn't even know that I should tell anybody. So I'm glad that things are changing and that we have the Me Too movement, and Time's Up Hancock is very good. I would like to tell you that today we're going to put up a petition calling for Mayor Hancock's resignation, and also for our spineless city council to fund an independent investigation, probably not done by a local law firm. And we are going to put it up. It's going to be on the Times Up Hancock Facebook page, and we encourage you all to go and sign it. There will be a link to a journalist who has offered to take tips, confidential tips, and to follow through with them. And so please do go to the Facebook page of Times Up Hancock today and look and sign our petition. I saw today that Hancock's picadillos have reached the farther shores. They've reached England now, and he's being plastered all over the newspapers in England. And so, so Hancock's making Denver look like the laughing stock. And we're sort of behind the times with I-70 and drains. We're behind the times with our accountability for sexual harassment. Thank you.
So my name is Candy Sadaraca, and I'm here to wrap it up for you guys. It's pretty clear that a diversity of residents in this city are deeply concerned by the obvious abuse of power displayed by Hancock's sexual harassment of a woman of color who is a peace officer. Women of color should expect to be protected by men of color, not degraded by them as we protect them. This also eliminates concerns beyond character flaws. There was a clear cover-up here, likely paid for with public resources. This expose requires a serious investigation into why the public are only hearing about the proof of these allegations now when Ms. Branch exposed them many years ago. This incident is shameful but unsurprising considering the many wrong turns our mayor has made for our city. A mayor only thinking about apologizing 6 years after being caught is unfit to protect the citizens of Denver. To fail to protect a woman of color who is protecting him daily in his security detail is a perfect illustration of his disregard for others and his constant abuse of his power. In the face of Hancock's denial that this incident is sexual harassment, we must ask ourselves, is this the man we want leading our city? We must have the courage to stand against injustice, and today we are demanding that our mayor be held accountable to the degree that any other citizen would be. We demand that Mayor Hancock resign and take accountability for his mistake. So we're watching our state, and thankfully they set the tone for how these type of incidents would be handled, and we hope that Denver follows suit. And for Mayor Hancock's handlers over here on the left, there's one thing you should be writing down today, and that is time's up, Hancock.
Also denouncing the democracy of the Democratic Party when they are not coming out strongly. You cannot have one policy for the Capitol and another for City Hall. Be consistent. All sexual harassers need to be held accountable.
No double standard!
So with that,
No double standard! No double standard! No double standard!
So with that, we are going to wrap up our press conference because I have to now go in to the Safety Committee of City Council and watch the contract that I held for 10 years for reentry services be handed over to other organizations, including the Urban League, whose CEO, Sean Bradley, had to step down for inappropriate text messages made to his staff. That's the kind of leadership we have in our city that rewards bad behavior while punishing those who stand up to power. Thank you for coming.
Here with the interviews, we'd like to encourage everybody to come down to the left auditorium. Let's have some more discussions about what's going on in our city.
So you're clearly calling for a resignation?
Which needs to be reviewed.
We are calling for his resignation. You know, he has been given opportunities to do the right thing. He's failed time and time again to take this situation seriously. And if he doesn't understand that sexual harassment doesn't need to involve touching, then he needs to go.
Thank you so much for the voice.
You are welcome. Thank
Because
you for
I've been
coming.
victimized.
A lot of us have, sister. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Some people in the press, business leaders, I understand that there is no only the voters can fire Mayor Hancock. What I don't understand is why we can say it. Sexual harassment is unacceptable. What bothers me most is that we have left this to the victim. We have asked we have asked the sergeant who reported him to be the one who called for his resignation. That's not our job. It's not a job of the victim to try to bring justice to this. It's our job, all of ours.
Would you like to make a statement?
Sure. There's another prime example of why we need to keep holding these leaders, these elected officials accountable. And also I have put in my bid for City Council at large 2019. Jesse Paris.
Okay, good luck.
To tell our truth, especially right now. Right now is our time, and don't hold back. I don't expect this to be the last allegation, and so now is the time for us to really turn the tides for our city.
How you doing, man? Would you like to make a statement?
Oh, so actually, I know, I wasn't prepared. Yeah, so I'm also a supporter of Time's Up Hancock and believe he needs to be fired, and because he's not going to step down on his own, and his conduct is unacceptable, and he is just now apologizing when it happened 6 years ago, and as the victim stated herself, he's known where she's lived, her address, her contact information, and has never tried to reach out to her and apologize. So it's time's up for him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My husband and I are on this. Yeah.
How's it going, sir? Would you like to make a statement?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Just trying to get more substantive people in there that care about social issues and the environment and want to improve the situation around them for the better. I think this is as much of a symptom as a cause of just somebody that's above the law or thought they were. And then the underreported part of this whole thing is the cover-up and the corruption that went along with it, and that is illegal. So sexual harassment might just be grounds for removing someone from their job, but the cover-up and the payoff requires an investigation and see where the chips fall. But this is not an isolated incident. We know that. We've experienced it firsthand. We've seen the mayor in action as far as retribution for speaking out against different causes, and it's good that it's finally coming to light.
All right, thank you.
How are you, Tony? Kyle. Yeah, appreciate it. All the work.
We want to know what it is. The Denver voters
that there are a lot of women and men across the city who are offended by the mayor's actions, and that he can't just get away with an apology. It's simply insufficient. And we know that city workers would not be allowed to just get away with an apology.
That petition that was mentioned, is that a recall effort, or is that something different?
It's to demand his resignation. I know that there have been talks about recall, but right now we're just focused on he needs to at least do the right thing and step down.
Were you happy with that? I mean, we had about 60 people out here today. Were you guys happy with that kind of turnout?
We are happy because we've also heard from a lot of people who are afraid to speak out, who have privately messaged me and the other organizers and said, keep doing what you're doing. I've been a victim too, or my wife had to deal with it as well. So we know that we're speaking to the masses.
What do you say to those who may say, and I'm not saying this, but this is retaliation for the ongoing dispute you currently have with the city?
Yeah, I'm just one of many examples. So, if I'm someone who's willing to come out, I mean, they've done what they can do to me, right? They've laid off 7 women from work. So they've done their damage. I want to make sure this doesn't happen to other women who speak out, and to let them know that even when they target you, you have something important to say, and to come out, we'll support you.
Do you think that this would have ever come out without this national Me Too kind of movement that we've seen?
Well, we know that it's not just enough to have the truth on your side, you also have truth and timing. And the fact that the Me Too movement has galvanized people in a way it has never before, I believe that that has a lot to do with it, yes.
Have you listened to any of the tapes that Scotty Ewing has put out relative to the big law firms in Denver putting the kibosh on this, along with the old Chief Whitman?
I have not heard those tapes, but I really hope that Mr. Ewing continues to speak out. There are people with information, and more of them need to come forward, or nothing's going to change.
Does it surprise you that he kept these tapes for 6-8 years?
It doesn't surprise me because it's evidence, and again, timing is everything. So I would really encourage him to release those so we have a fuller story.
And as an attorney, how helpful would those be toward this effort to perhaps oust the current mayor?
Well, I'm not speaking in any legal capacity, but I'm certainly speaking on behalf of someone who has advocated for victims of abuse, and that it is always difficult to come out and speak, even when you have all of the evidence on your side. People are going to doubt you. People are going to try to target you. And but that's what we want to say, is that you are not alone, and we will stand with you.
We heard from several speakers the issue, the mayor has drawn the line that he doesn't believe this is sexual harassment. Clearly, Detective Branch Weiss feels otherwise, and you would do as well. Can you talk about kind of that issue here? I mean, that's kind of at the center of this.
Yes. You know, you don't even have to be a lawyer to look at the definition that the city has spelled out for sexual harassment, and the mayor's conduct meets that definition. So for him to do a song and dance and to say there was no sexual intent, that's not the standard. The standard is the conduct, and the standard is how the victim felt. And she felt it was sexual harassment, and we should believe her.
And whenever we do some type of a story like this that involves a politician, inevitably it gets political. And there's questions about the motivations. What is it that you want people to know about if they're questioning the motivations of the people that were here today in the rally?
So, first of all, I think starting with the victim, always, she had nothing to gain by this. She had everything to lose. She's exposing herself and her family. The same thing for the folks who turned out today. You know, we are accountability folks. If our city leadership would have done its job, we wouldn't have to stand on the steps and remind them to do what's right by Denver residents.
And then I know that the detective herself has gone ahead and said that she forgives the mayor. Is that enough?
She said she accepts his apology, but she also said she still fears retaliation. And so what we know from this mayor is that he doesn't directly retaliate. He has other people doing it for him, and that precisely was her fear. So you can forgive somebody, but it doesn't mean that you're safe.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I just thank you all for coming out. This has meant a lot to us that you all are covering this so in-depthly, because for years we have tried to get people to understand and to listen, and so we're so glad that you have. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you. I'm sorry to do this a little bit.
LISA CALDERON, Colorado Latino Forum.
I keep hearing people saying we're calling for the city council to call for an independent investigation. The city council says they don't have the authority to do that.
From my understanding, they do. What they're also saying is that they don't have any disciplinary authority. So even if they were to find something, they couldn't do anything with it. Well, Denver voters deserve to know. They need to have information. And we can't have information if they won't even start an investigation.
Why should the city council investigate if they say they can't take any action anyway?
Because we need to know the full extent of the mayor's actions. We need to know how much it has cost taxpayers. We need to know if there's been any other accusations. You know, it's time to shed light on how this mayor has conducted himself for his past 2 terms.
You know, the mayor's office is going to accuse you, Lisa, of saying you're politically motivated to call for his resignation because of the whole jail transition contract. What are you going to respond?
I'd say the mayor needs to stop blaming others for his conduct. He blamed the Fraternal Order of Police, saying that they didn't support his reform effort, when in fact they do. They were asking for specific issues around safety. So this mayor has a tendency to just blow off his critics, and what we're here to say is you can't keep blowing all of us off. We are now united, and we're going to keep speaking up against him.
Does there need to be an investigation if he resigns? Would you just be satisfied if he resigns?
If he resigns, I think the voters still deserve to know the depth of his conduct. We deserve answers.
Are you hoping that today's rally provides momentum for him to step down?
I am hoping so, and that needs to come from the people. So if we do not keep up the pressure, shame on us. We have irrefutable evidence that he was inappropriate in his texts, that they were sexual in nature, and we need to hold him accountable for stepping down.
And tell me about this petition on the Time's Up. There's going to be a Facebook page posted today.
And see you guys down here. I share you live on Defend Denver.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I want anybody who was a resident at the Aristocrat, raise your hand. You don't know what the Aristocrat
is? Sir, how often
not a resident.
Do you do the thing at the rock?
Okay, so my name's Brian. I'm with Occupy Denver, and Boycott the Urban Camping Ban. We feed the homeless every Friday night from 5:30 to 7:30, rain, sun, or snow. We provide clothing. We provide sleeping bags to those in need. We provide a home-cooked meal. There's 6 to 8 hotel pans with the food. That's Friday nights at the Rock Bottom Brewery, while we encourage people to boycott and actually not shop, diverting tourist income away from businesses that support laws that make it illegal to be homeless without putting a portion of their profits into the solutions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And sir, yeah, go ahead and
Thank you, brother. It's all Puerto Rican. All Latino.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, I'm Marcus Giovanni, and I am the Rodney Dangerfield of politics here in the city and county of Denver. And you won't hear the media talk about me because I'm a Google developer. And what that means is, if you Google search city and county of Denver and you look at the images, that's what I do. It's OOP, Object Oriented Programming. And what we're going to do is eradicate the homeless. I know about the homeless, but I can't talk about it right now. This is really busy. I appreciate you, and I want you to come on the Marcus Giovanni Show. We're on the 1100 KFNX in Phoenix, Arizona. We stream 1100KFNX.com. So, thank you.
All right, we're good together, man. All right.
For years, how many years? Since November 5th, 2013 and before, we've been pouring out the corruption in Denver politics system. The for-profit prison institutions. But yet, you want to continue to deny empirical evidence and allow state-sponsored media under the direction of Mayor Hancock, who does nothing.
He's no longer our mayor! Stop calling him one!
Did he resign? Is he going to resign?
No!
Yes!
Yes!
Oh, because I heard he was supposed to resign in 2012.
Exactly!
Exactly! And then we threatened to release the list or to repeal the homeless ban. That wasn't an end all. That was a wake-up call to you, the people, to get out and do something about this. Wake up! We know you've been harboring this story for quite some time. We know that this has been a closed discussion for quite some time. But the people and the irresponsible media have done nothing. While we've pamphleteered this entire city, we gathered on November 5th, the protest of 2013, to protest the NSA. In response, we were attacked by the police. In our own shame, we had kids who have never even been to a protest, never been to war, get arrested, that live in their grandmother's basement. Over time, due to the corruption in this city and the lack of media coverage to the truth, because they deny their Hippocratic oath, while we, the student body, have been the only ones doing anything about it until now. So thank you. Thank you that you're finally coming out, that you're finally waking up to the bullcrap and racism in this city. I've been all over the place. I've seen black-on-black police violence in New Orleans. I've been discriminated against in various states of this country. To think that you're the only ones who are racist and to point fingers is to look at the speck in your brother's eye and deny the log in your own. The first word, the founding word of Protestant is protest. It's protest. because of the corruption and the system of various forms of censorship that we can only protest as a people. Mayor Hancock has facilitated the corporate-sponsored police, and by the way, we did not deface the memorial, the police memorial. We are aware exactly who the fuck the FBI is in our camp and who was planted there, and we are not affiliated with them. They were there to discredit us and to disrupt our movement because they fear the truth.
I'll catch you then. Okay, you bet.
This is not going to be the end of it. This is only an example of people starting to put away the fear and put away their own pride, their own egos, to do the right thing.
While we're out there. Have a great rest of your day.
That's all there is to it. While we, the citizens, the students, the youth, have been out here consistently until we've been brutalized into silence. No longer will we gather in the cities due to the corruption in the police department and police brutality. And if you think Denver is the only city that has protests, they're wrong. If you think Denver is the only place that brutalizes protesters, you are also wrong. There are responsible cities, and Denver is not one of them. Take a look around. You only see sensationalism in the media. You only see the attacks on protesters in St. Louis, etc. And you think that you are one and the same. But no, you are only one and the same with corruption. Hancock should have resigned a long time ago when a 12-year-old girl was hit in the streets by a police baton, and nobody knows that story, except for us, who pamphleteered the city. We've been out there on the streets. We've been out there on the streets. We are not your normal left-wing group that we've been marginalized into. And if any of you paid any attention, you would know that.
No. We got connected through this, yeah. I think we're both, we did it. Yeah.
That's right. After we threatened to release the list, that mayor...
It's 2 for 1 Jack, splat, just like that. Bringing you tons of information, that's where he's at. He goes around town covering topics you'd like to know. Well, that's what you get when you tune in to the 2 for 1 Jack Show.